As we speak, there are people in this country fearful of the next knock on their door because that could be somebody there to serve an eviction notice. The federal eviction moratorium expired last weekend, and there are a lot of people in this country behind on their monthly rent payments. So, objecting to the lack of action by Congress and the White House, Representative Cori Bush led progressive lawmakers in a sit-in outside of the Capitol, drawing attention to the issue. Then on Tuesday, there was a sigh of relief as the CDC issued a new moratorium for an additional 60 days. I want to bring in now one of the lawmakers who joined the protest, Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Congressman Omar, welcome back to the program. I guess relief that the 60-day moratorium, another 60 days are in place, but already that's being challenged in court. Is this going to be a battle now just to get the 60 days, or is there some relief for renters who are listening, who are watching, and who are possibly looking out the window trying to see who's coming to their door?
We're really grateful for this extension, but again, this is a short-term fix. We obviously need a long-term solution. This was to have the ability to buy time for local municipalities and states to get the money out. As you remember, we allocated billions of dollars to make sure renters had rental assistance and landlords were able to get their checks so that they can also pay their mortgages. So what I'm hoping for is that before this 60-day ends, that there is progress that's made in that regard and Congress reconvenes so that we can actually do legislation to provide long-term solution.
I'm holding in my hand a book says, "This is what America looks like," and it has your picture on the cover of it. What do you hope? Look, a lot of people know you and your name, and they think they know you possibly through some of the headlines, through some of the things that have been in the press. But what are you hoping to accomplish by having a book people can read a little more about your backstory, a little bit more about you? What are they going to learn here that hadn't been in the headline?
Yeah, I mean, my story is uniquely an American story. I obviously know that this is a country of immigrants. There are so many people who have an immigration story of their own families. And there is just a new arrival of a lot of new immigrants. The refugee experience is not one that has been really written about or talked about. And I wanted people to have an understanding of who their new neighbors are. There are so many people across this country that will see themselves in my story, and so many people who will develop a deeper understanding of the kind of struggles that some of us have gone through and what we have been able to endure. Many people don't know that I was born in Somalia, came to the United States at the age of 12. Spent 4 years in a refugee camp, missed 4 years of formative education. I experienced lots of tragedies that are not that dissimilar to a lot of the people who are showing up at our border. I know what it feels like to seek asylum, and hopefully my story and the choices my family made, particularly my father and grandfather, will resonate with a lot of people.
Well, there was a lot people might learn about you that they did not know. They also don't know you learned English by watching what TV show, Congresswoman?
Well, Baywatch, among other shows. My dad spoke many languages and believed that if you were able to mimic and watch the TV with the closed captions, because we could write and read, that it would help us learn English quickly. And he was right. I learned English and became quite fluent in about 3 months.
That good old David Hasselhoff, right? He's gotta love that guy. All right, Congresswoman Omar, always a pleasure having you here with us, and we'll continue to check in with you. Thank you so much, all right?
Thank you.